Well, diminished one more time. What I was playing there is a full diminished seventh chord. Last time I was talking about diminished arpeggios, and I don't think I mentioned the word diminished seventh. We are using 4 notes, which makes up full seventh chords, the first, third, fifth, and seventh of a scale. So I just want to get into the mathematics and mechanics of this diminished world of diminished seventh arpeggios for now. So let's just dive in. When we think of chords and the mechanics behind them, as a quick example, I'll just use the key of A. And if we make an A major 7 chord, we know it's 1, 3, 5, major 7. If we turn that into a dominant 7, we're going to lower the 7th to make it sound bluesy or Beatlesy, right? Now, so when we think about diminished seventh chords, this is pretty wacky. It's going to be the root note, a flat 3, a flat 5, and a double flat 7. And you go, what? Yeah, kind of crazy and whacked, as I've been saying. I love this whacked world of diminished. So 1 flat 3, flat 5, flat 7. So that would be a C, E flat, G flat. 1 flat 3, flat 5, double flat 7. So you say, whoa, compared to an A dominant 7, that gives us that diminished sound, of course, the diminished seventh chord. So I know last time I was saying, let's substitute a diminished over a dominant seventh chord. And we did that over an A dominant 7. And I said how simple this is. And you raised the one note. Well, now technically it's an A sharp diminished seventh chord, right? Right. So that's going to be a little confusing, I think, using A. Well, I guess I can use A sharp. We're going to have to go, through the first note, the third, which will be flat, and then the flat 5, and then the lower double flat 7. So compared to an A sharp major 7 chord, which would, or even an A sharp major, which would be B flat as well, we have to take the root note, lower the third, lower the fifth, and then double flat the 7th, which gives us that diminished 7th chord. You go, okay, cool. But I showed you last week how simple, if you don't want to have to go through all the mechanics and all that and mathematics, just play a dominant 7th chord, raise the root note, and you're good to go. Quickly, briefly, it also represents an A dominant 7 flat 9 chord. So we'll talk about that another time. But like I said, welcome to the whacked world of diminished. And then the other thing I want to mention about the mechanics, I want to make this I want to clear the path, no smoke, no fog in the way. These 4 notes, when you move them up the fretboard in minor thirds, or you play it as an arpeggio, you are playing those same 4 notes over and over in each position, which makes it very cool and very whacked. But it's just the same 4 notes. Just flip, flipped, flipped, flip, flip. And you go, what? Okay. So that means you can start anywhere when you're playing over a dominant 7th chord and you want to play a diminished 7th chord as a substitution. You can start on the raised 1, the 3rd, the 5th, and the lowered 7th because you're thinking of A7. So here's the 7 chord. Then I raise that 1. So it's the raised 1. I've got the 3rd right there, the 5th right here, and the 7th. And here's that on the 1st string, just replacing the 6th string on the 1st string, same note. Or I could just do this. And you're just moving those same 4 notes up and down. So when you want to play an arpeggio and break it down note by note, okay, cool. So I just I pinpoint where am I on the fretboard, because it depends on the location of your hand. You can spot notes real quick. If you're playing an A9 chord up here, well, there's the major 3rd right there in your hand of the form of the chord. So when you go to play 4 and 5, D9 and E9, watch this. The first finger is just waiting for you to throw that diminished. On the E9, that first finger is the 3rd as well. There you go. Come back to A7. The first finger is the lower seventh of that chord. You see what I'm saying? Whacked, okay? And you go, whoa, that's a lot of information, a lot of notes, and repetitious notes and fingerings going on. Yes, it is. So when you think about a 1, 4, 5, holy crap, you go, you're right there for any of those positions. For each chord, for their positions that these chords are in. So it's a good way to get started with these and just think about where your hand is when you're soloing. If you want to throw in these diminished chords or diminished seventh arpeggios, just think of what note do you want to start on. It's the raised 1, the 3rd, the 5th, or the lowered 7th. And it's the easiest way to do that. Unless you want to use the mechanics of it and go, okay, well, now I'm going to call it an A sharp diminished, so it's going to be a 1, flat 3, flat 5, double flat 7. I find the other way much simpler and easier. So just explore it and have fun. I will keep elaborating on this. We're going to get into full diminished scales as well. Man, this stuff is so cool because all of the cool things that you could do with these to create tension and stepping stones and things for like improvising. It's going to be a blast. So have fun. I'll see you next time.